Hey you guys, this is Blending with Henry. I'm going to show you a full review of some induction burners. I have the Nuwave PIC Gold, the Nuwave PIC Pro, I also have the Duxtop and the Breville Control Freak. So we're going to be making all sorts of food, so be ready, let's do it. Before we get started, please support Blending with Henry by smashing that like and subscribe button, leave a comment, and visit me at blendingwithhenry.com. Your support is appreciated. So, you might wonder why Blending with Henry is talking about cooktops. Now, I have a culinary background, you guys. I grew up training in family-owned restaurants in the Bay Area and back in Philly. And I'm always using my blender as a culinary tool rather than just making green juice or a cheese dip. Now, right here I'm melting chocolate in my CombiWave 3-in-1 oven, creating the mixture on the stovetop, then blending it for the creamiest dairy-free hot cocoa. Here I'm shredding potatoes using the blender to make hash browns. Then I showed you guys how a commercial blender can easily create a cheesecake mixture, then cook the cheesecake via sous vide. The results are a delicious, dense cheesecake cooked all the way through, and it all started with a blender. Induction cooktops may seem like new technology, but the US was slow to adopt them. Now, induction has been common outside the US for many years. Now, today we're going to be talking about the Nuwave PIC, the Duxtop, and the Breville Control Freak. Now, these are the most popular machines in the market, but you've got to know the basics before you use them. You do have to use specific cookware. Now, you can use non-stick pans, stainless steel, and that old cast iron pan handed down from your ancestors has been induction ready before induction was ready, okay? To figure out if you have the right cookware, it's simple really. You just need to grab a magnet lying around the house. Drop the magnet onto your cookware, and if it sticks, you're all set. Now, this is a non-stick pan with an induction-ready metal base at the bottom. Now, you've seen these. Now you know what the base is for, okay? Drop the magnet and they should stick. Most stainless steel works with induction, but drop a magnet on it before you buy it. If you have enameled cast iron, you're all set. But to be sure, there you go. Now, this is a glass platter, and glass does not work with induction, so your magnets won't stick. So the key to using induction is you have to use cookware that contains ferrous metal. Now, these are ferrous metals: cast iron, steel, stainless steel, and carbon steel. Non-ferrous metals do not work with induction, such as copper, aluminum alloys, nickel, and zinc. So why should you use induction? Let's take a look at the benefits. Fast heating of pans. Approximately 85% no energy wasted. Uses no heat to heat up pans. More precise temperature control. Safer cooktop for deep frying. And it's easy to clean, no burned on food. Of course you have to take the bad with the good, but the downsides really aren't too bad. Here are the downsides. Price. Now it can vary depending on the brand, features, size, design, and versatility of the machine. Temperature control limitations, cooling system limitations, cookware size limitations, and they can be noisy with certain types of cookware. The connection to your cookware is this circular copper induction coil. It's pretty amazing how it works. It magnetically connects to your cookware, causing the metal molecules of the pan to rapidly vibrate, resulting in a pan that self-heats. Now, this is the one inside the Breville Control Freak. Some induction coils are large like this one to accommodate wide-body cookware, but many cheaper cooktops have a smaller coil and work best with smaller pots and pans. Now, I mentioned earlier, you guys, that induction cooktops don't transfer heat to your pans. That's why I'm confident with studying this dollar bill between the pan and the cooking surface. Now, if you want me to be super confident, hand me over a $20 bill. Let's try that, okay? Now, how's this for confidence? I'm laying the backside of my bare hand on the cooking surface next to a pan of boiling water. There's no heat being generated by the induction coil underneath. Now, to be clear, the pan itself is hot where it's sitting, so the glass cooking surface will be hot, but it cools down fast. If you have concerns about scratching the ceramic cooktop from rougher pans like cast iron, you may slide a piece of parchment paper underneath. That will not degrade the magnetic connection to your pan. And notice the parchment paper doesn't go up in flames, and this is a piping hot cast iron pan. But that's the only thing that is hot, is the pan. Ceramic cooktops with the infrared coils underneath are hot, very hot, and you could never place a piece of parchment paper or any barrier between your pan and the cooktop or it will catch fire. For many, cooking with gas is the holy grail. It's beautiful to look at, gives a kitchen a very chef-style vibe, but just like the infrared coils, gas puts out a lot of wasted energy heating up your kitchen. Now, if you use a portable gas stove outside on a windy day, this is also what happens. It's very easy to confuse an induction cooktop range with an infrared coil cooktop range. They both use a ceramic glass cooking surface, and when the infrared cooktop is not in use, it looks exactly like induction. Now, when induction is in use, regardless of what the temperature is set to, the cooking surface is always black and it looks like it's turned off. Some of you may not care, but I'm a real stickler when it comes to cleaning my cookware. Since the induction cooking surface doesn't burn on foods, your cookware will not burn on the bottom like it would from gas or those cheap coils. So let's take a look at the Breville Control Freak. I'll make no secret about it. This machine is pretty awesome! Now, it's the most expensive of the bunch in my review, but in my opinion, it's the best portable induction hob hands down, and in many ways is superior to some of the most expensive induction cooktop ranges in the industry. But, is it for you? Let's take a look. The Breville Commercial Control Freak is designed and warranted for both home and commercial use. Now, it's the portable induction hob that many chefs choose due to its unmatched precision and is built to withstand the toughest wear and tear from a restaurant, like Hell's Kitchen. Now, I love the hands-on feel of using rotary temperature control dials. Now, it gives a real chef's feel. The Control Freak is wrapped all the way around in stainless steel, leaving no openings to the insides exposed in case of a major boilover, and that did happen to me, you guys, when testing the machine. The temperature and timer rotary dials are removable for cleaning. Now, they are fully sealed so no liquid spill inside. Now, the cooktop is made of a durable ceramic glass and it surrounds the temperature probe that is designed to read the temperature of your pan's cooking surface and brings the pan to temperature on the fly. On the bottom, the Control Freak has a twin fan system that keeps the machine cool during all-day cooking sessions, no matter which type of cookware you use. Now, the heat dissipation holds a recess for further protection against boilovers, and has a very thick 3-pronged power cord to withstand the wear and tear of a commercial kitchen. The Control Freak has a built-in smartphone-like system menu not found on other induction cooktops. Now, you can program your own recipe titles that include the temperature, the cooking times, and it greatly reduces the learning curve for families. Just select what you're cooking, and the system now brings the actual pan to temperature. This is something other induction burners don't offer without an app that you have to rely on. You can choose the rate at how quickly the pan heats up. You want it on slow when heating chocolate, for example, or fast when deep frying. So far, I haven't seen another portable induction hob that does this. Temperature adjustments by 1 degree. Most are 5, 10, and 20 degree increments. This makes the Control Freak the most precise at temperature control. A useful guide provided by Breville for the Control Freak is an online database containing cooking techniques and temperatures. Now, for example, for a steak, I'm choosing beef. Then I'm choosing pan fry. And you can see the temperature right next to it. Then right here, it will suggest the proper pans to use along with cast iron. And up top, you'll see the temperature, pan sensor, and fast intensity. And you can program all of this right into the Control Freak to list it on the built-in menu. Included is a USB thumb drive that plugs right into the Control Freak. Now you can save your entire menu that contains your recipe titles, temperatures, and cook times. It's great for restaurants that buy multiple Control Freak cooktops. Program one machine and transfer the information to all the others. Also included is the temperature probe that plugs into the other side of the Control Freak. Now, what's unique about this temperature probe is that it's designed to read and control temperatures for both water-based recipes and oil-based recipes, such as deep frying. The probe comes with a silicone holster so it won't scratch your cookware and it withstands high temperatures. Here during the cookout at the marina, I used the probe control oil feature to maintain the temperature of the frying oil as we made buffalo wings. It was all automatic. We dropped in chicken wings that lowered the temperature and the probe brought the oil quickly back to temperature. No gaps during cooking, such as waiting for the oil to heat back up. Trust me, this took some practice. And some of the wings did hit the ground. Okay? But hey, they came out great and they tasted amazing. Now I also cook steaks, salmon, french fries, and more using the Control Freak. We were cooking for well over 6 hours. Now it just would not quit. Here I'm going to show you guys how helpful the temperature probe was when we cooked these ribeye steaks. Since these steaks were super thick, I seared them to a crispy crust first on both sides. Then I slid in the temperature probe and adjusted the temperature on the Control Freak for an automated proper internal temperature. Since there's no automation, if you try to do this with a common temperature probe, you would have to fiddle with the temps and you may overcook the steak. A perfect medium rare. This picture shows the internals of the Breville commercial Control Freak and all its features. The Nuwave PIC Gold is my favorite portable you guys to carry around. Now I love the round shape and it's perfect to take on road trips in the RV. It has a membrane keypad which protects the buttons from greasy fingers during real-world cooking. You can program temperature with cook times or just set a time for cooking. Now like the Control Freak, it has a power setting but in wattage. Now this model goes up to 1500 watts. It has preset temperatures. For example, low is for 100 degrees Fahrenheit. There's also a dedicated max sear button that brings the maximum cooking temperature to 575 degrees Fahrenheit, although it doesn't actually show that temperature. In my testing, it didn't seem to put out any higher heat during searing over the other induction burners with a much lower maximum temperature. The temperature control was in 5 and 10 degree increments depending on the temperature levels. Now for comparison, the Breville Control Freak offered 1 degree increments for more precise control. If a certain temperature is necessary, this is not the right machine to use. The Nuwave PIC Pro Chef. Now I have some likes about this machine, but I'm also confused about it. Now what I like about it over the PIC Gold is it's a full flat panel touchscreen which makes it easy to clean, and no membrane keypad that will show wear over time. It's really the same overall as the PIC Gold. One major difference is the temperature control is in 5 degree increments regardless of temperature level. Now the PIC Gold vary between 5 and 10 degrees. Now this gives the Pro Chef the advantage of having more temperature options. Comparing the PIC Gold to the Pro Chef. Now this is the bottom of the PIC Gold. This is the bottom of the Pro Chef. The PIC Gold comes with a basic 2-prong power cord. The Pro Chef has a little thicker power cord, but it still has 2 prongs. The PIC Gold has very little protection for the heat dissipation holes against boilovers. The Pro Chef's cooking surface overlaps a bit to protect the heat dissipation holes, but not by much. So let's check out the Duxtop P961. Now this model is certified for commercial use and it's overall a very good machine for home and restaurant use, but with some slight gotchas. It has a touchscreen interface and the front panel is slanted for easy viewing without having to stand over it. And the bottom is also covered in stainless steel and it has elevated feet and thick housing like the Control Freak to aid in keeping the internals cooled down. Like any commercial grade product, it has a very thick 3-prong power cord, which I like. And the heat is also dissipated from the rear with a protector hood to help prevent spills from getting inside, but it's not enough protection. When you first turn it on, you will see the number 5, with heating settings from 0.5 to 20, much like your stove. Now pressing the menu again reveals the actual temperature for recipes that need specific temperature settings, like deep frying. Now, but the downside on the Duxtop is the temperature settings are in 20-degree increments. This is a major handicap because it limits temperature accuracy. I really like the dedicated keep warm function. At 140 degrees Fahrenheit, it's just warm enough to not continue cooking your meals. Now, if you forget about it, no worries. It has a 30-minute timer and it shuts off after that. Now, there's also the lock feature that prevents accidental input, making the majority of the controls inoperable. Attempting to make the perfect French omelet over the years with my stoves have been failure after failure. I'm sure some of you who aren't chefs can do it under anesthesia, okay? But it definitely takes skill and patience. Okay, on the Control Freak, I'm going into the menu and choosing the eggs omelet preset I created with a temperature of 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it reads the temperature of the pan and brings it to temperature as the butter melts. Now it beeps when the pan is ready for cooking. After pouring in the eggs, I immediately scramble to curdle the eggs. Now the temperature drops, but it's quickly coming back to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. With an omelet, you want to cover up any visible holes. Now I'm going to cover it up for 2 minutes so it can mold into shape. And this is where I fail every time. Now I'm shutting off the cooking and now I'm going to pray, okay? Now before rolling the omelet out of the pan, you need to run your spatula around the edge to loosen it up. And no worries if you can't see it too well. I'll show you as I plate it. And there you go. Now, of course, this was all theatrics for you guys because I knew it would come out perfect. I did this multiple times thinking it might fail, but it never did. Restaurant quality, perfectly yellow, moist with no browning. Now with the Duxtop, the closest I could get in temperature was 220 degrees Fahrenheit, since the next temp up would be 240 degrees Fahrenheit. But notice how the pan temperature dramatically increased past 350 degrees. Since the Duxtop has no way of knowing what type of pan you're using, it overheats the pan in an attempt to preheat it, but the butter starts to brown. Now I'm going to pour in the eggs. Now I'm lowering the temperature to prevent the butter from further browning and to slow down the cooking. Now usually you will see chefs remove the pan from the stove for the same reason. Regardless of me lowering the temperature, the problem is the pan is still too hot and the eggs are curdling way too fast. At this point, there's no way to perfectly smooth out the eggs and cover the holes. Now I'm placing a lid on it to help it mold, but instead of the 2 minutes like the Control Freak, I'm covering it for under 1 minute. At this point, this was a fail. Now for a commercial cooktop, you cannot rely on the temperature settings. You have to be creative with the settings since there's no true temperature control of the pan. Although it was not a complete fail, it still turned out perfectly cooked scrambled eggs. And I assure you guys, they did not go to waste. With the Nuwave, I had a similar experience with it overheating the pan in an attempt to preheat it. It's set at 225 degrees Fahrenheit, but it heated over 300 degrees Fahrenheit. The Nuwave, along with the Duxtop, do eventually drop the temperatures back down after preheating, but the Nuwave doesn't overheat nearly as much, so the butter did not burn. So the eggs are curdling very nicely, but the pan is still pretty hot. Now, like the Duxtop, you can't really rely on the posted temperature setting. Covering the eggs up, and I will also do this for under 1 minute to prevent browning. Running my spatula around, the eggs have a crispy texture. Now you may not be able to see it, but they are not creamy. And there's also browning. The Nuwave omelet certainly turned out a lot better than the Duxtop omelet, but there's quite a bit of browning because it was obviously cooking hotter than the posted temperature. I did this test multiple times, even with lower temperatures to reduce the browning, but without pan temperature control like the Control Freak has, making a French omelet with these budget machines is no easier than cooking with gas or electric coils. Continuing on temperature control. Now there are misconceptions and misrepresentations from infomercials and TV shopping networks. No surprise there, of course. Now often you will see them showing the proper temperature for deep frying, but the reality is the pan being used matters. And if you ever notice, they don't use the temperature probe to verify the temperature of the frying oil. On the Nuwave, I have it set at 360 degrees Fahrenheit. After 30 minutes, the highest the oil got was 305 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is because I'm using a cast iron pot. Now, in order to actually get it to deep fry, I had to up the temperature to 430 degrees Fahrenheit. Infomercials and TV shopping networks will demonstrate with a stainless steel pan because they are good heat conductors and take very little time to preheat. Now notice one more thing. Even though it shows 430 degrees Fahrenheit, the max sear button is lit, showing that the Nuwave has reached the maximum temperature of 575 degrees Fahrenheit. This is because a cast iron pot keeps getting hotter. The Nuwave shut down multiple times due to overheating because for extended time cooking, it could not withstand the heat from a cast iron pot. But the fries still turned out good though, alright? Let's be real about it, okay? Now for the Control Freak, I had the proper temperature for curly fries set at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature dropped, but notice how quickly it recovers in just 2 minutes. Now I deep fried in the same cast iron pot for over 2 hours with no overheating on the Control Freak, and I also had the same great experience with the commercial Duxtop. Speaking of the Duxtop, while extended time deep frying was successful using cast iron, the recovery time after the temperature drop was very poor. Now I'm boiling water here, but notice how long the temperature regulator shuts off before returning to cooking. Now of course, to be fair, all induction cooktops do this to maintain temperature, but the Duxtop was the slowest in recovery. Dedicated deep fryers also take long to return to proper temperature, but induction is supposed to be faster, but this is very poor. Advertising is only as good as the quality of the product. Always check out the build quality because you don't get something for nothing. The Breville commercial Control Freak is by far ahead of everything else in build quality. The entire product is fully sealed from boilovers and spills. The controls are fully sealed, the user panel is fully sealed, and the air holes are recessed away from any cooking disasters. The power cord is thick restaurant quality with a grounded plug, and an in-glass temperature probe is also sealed from spills. The Duxtop P961LS also has superb build quality, made of strong stainless steel wrapped around from top to bottom, and you guys, it's built to withstand high temperatures and accommodates the weight of pots up to 60 pounds. Now it also has a thick restaurant quality power cord that is grounded. Now the cooking surface and control panel are all fully sealed from spills and boilovers. Now although there is a protector to help keep the spills from entering the air holes, it's limited in design and won't fully protect. The Nuwave PIC Gold is one of my favorite designs, being rounded in shape, but it comes with limitations. Now, there's virtually no protection from boilovers and spills from entering the air holes in the rear. And the power cord, while satisfactory, does not include a 3-prong grounded plug. And because of its thin design, there's not much room to keep the electronics cool during extended high heat cooking. Something to watch out for. This is my third machine in 2 weeks. The membrane keypad has a sticker overlay. Multiple reviews from owners have mentioned the sticker cracking. Now, out of the box, my sticker was raised in the corner and I couldn't get it to lay flat. The Nuwave PIC Pro Chef, being a full touchscreen, eliminates any sticker overlays or membrane keypad to wear out, so that's a big plus. The power cord is thicker than the PIC Gold, but it still incorporates a non-grounded 2-prong plug. The cooking surface does overlap the rear air holes a little bit more, so while it's better protection from spills over the PIC Gold, in my opinion, it's still not good enough. The Pro Chef is labeled from Nuwave for commercial and household use. This machine is not designed for any type of real commercial use. It would not last in a restaurant. Believe it or not, this is also my third Nuwave machine in under a month. The gasket that wraps below the cooking surface was broken right out of the box. Here's my second replacement on the right. The one on the left is the second defective one. Again, a defective gasket. Now, I tried pushing it back in place, but it wouldn't budge. On the same machine, look how it shipped right out of the box, with scratches on the foot area. Now, things happen, but this is unacceptable, and the box was perfectly sealed. One more thing I want to talk about, which is very common in all induction cooktops, is what happens when the pan is lifted. When coming from gas, chefs and home cooks have had to adapt to this common behavior, and it's not unique to any model. If you're used to lifting the pan to toss the ingredients, the cooking instantly stops with induction. You get a little time to return it, but eventually it shuts right off. Same behavior even with the Nuwave PIC Pro Chef. Also with the Duxtop, when lifting the pan, you have about 1 minute to return it before it shuts off. Now, the Control Freak operates a little differently. It actually never shuts off, it remains on. In a restaurant setting, it's common to remove your pot from the stove and add ingredients during food prep. Now, it may take more time than expected before you continue cooking. You don't have to set the cooking temperature again, just set the pan back on and continue. But again, it remains that this feature is one downside to gas, where the heat from the gas can still transfer to the pan while lifting and tossing ingredients. Alright, you guys, now that you've seen practically everything these induction hobs are capable of, let's take a look at the best uses checklist. Alright, you guys, from the top left we have the Nuwave PIC Gold at approximately $100 USD, best for portability, best for hot plate use, best for travel, and best for camping. And on the top right we have the Nuwave Pro Chef at approximately $150 USD, great for portability, touchscreen surface, easy cleaning, and more temperature options. And on the bottom left we have the Duxtop P961LS, approximately $175 USD, great for home use, limited commercial use, excellent build quality, made for heavy pots, and sealed for splatters. And on the bottom right we have the Breville Control Freak at $1,499 USD, best for commercial use, best for chefs and home cooks, fully sealed for splatters, best for the heaviest pots, and best for temperature control. With the Nuwave PIC Gold, I mentioned that it's best for hot plate use. Here in a table setting, it fits perfectly as a centerpiece. The Nuwave Pro Chef can be used as a hot plate, but due to its rectangular shape, it's a little out of place in a table setting. The Control Freak just has no place in a dinner table setting as a hot plate. It is ideal as a hot plate for a cookout on a serving table, but it's just too big for a home dining room table. From this angle, you can see the size differences. The Duxtop is not shown since it's roughly the same size as the Control Freak. Now, make no mistake, you guys, any one of these machines can be used for a variety of meal types without issue, as you see me here sauteing shrimp. Now, I'm also cooking a risotto using medium temperature. And the result is one of my favorites, sauteed rock shrimp over risotto. Here's an idea for you guys. Buy 2 induction burners and set them side by side on your stove. This is my exact setup. I have removed those obnoxious coils. If you're looking for a versatile premium setup without buying a whole new range, use this same setup with the Breville Commercial Control Freak. It still does far more than some of the most expensive induction ranges, and when you need it as a portable for an outdoor barbecue, you can simply take it with you. At $1,500, it's expensive, but the world spends $1,000 on a smartphone that they end up replacing in 2 years in favor of the next one. Great quality cookware and cooking tools last a lifetime. Now, I've had my $500 KitchenAid mixer for over 20 years. Now, don't start adding up my age, you guys, okay? I was 5 when I bought it, alright? Alright, you guys, thank you so much. And if you have interest in checking out these reviewed products and purchasing them, the links will be below the video and on blendingwithhenry.com, featured on my holiday shopping page. See you soon.